Yo, what's good, everyone? Back on a Pitre podcast. Yo, it's hot as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's literally 100 degrees in the Northeast right now. We're in the middle of a heat wave. It's been hot for like the past week. Motherfuckers are literally melting like the Wicked Witch of the West. It's hot as shit. And if you're looking at this podcast visually, that doesn't make any sense. If you're fucking watching the podcast, you might be thinking, yo, why do you look like you're about to play soccer? Motherfuckers, because I am. I'm about to go play the beautiful game in 100-degree weather and fucking put on for the squad because the squad needs me. I got my legs out. My thighs are looking mad thick. Just got a haircut a little while ago. My barber got me looking cute as fuck. Shout out to him. He's Israeli. The only good one, don't get me wrong. For the most part, they're basically all evil. For the exception of him. He's a good guy. He's a little biased, I'm not going to lie. Super biased. But overall, good man. Cuts great hair. So, like, let's spare him at least. You know, when shit goes down and America's finally tired of Israel, spare my boy. But anyway, I wanted to, in this episode, since Pride Month is coming to a close, I wanted to do an episode saying what's gay. And anything could be gay. You can be straight, but do gay shit. Now, when I'm talking about gay, I don't mean in the literal sense of the word in homosexuality, which, listen, bro, I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, if you want to be like the male version of Bonnie Blue and go out there and, you know, suck 1,000 dicks in one day, you're probably going to need, like, you know, cough medicine afterwards. But, like, yo, do your thing. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't care what you do with your life. But when I talk about things being gay, a lot of things can be gay. Like, for example, back in the day, you know, growing up, if you like drank out of a straw, people called you gay. It was gay, you know. It was just like, in that terminology, it's like things that are quirky and are weird, or that things that straight men historically probably shouldn't do. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And listen, if you're a Gen Z, which fucking Gen Zs are just pussies nowadays, you're probably going to be upset this episode, and it is what it is. But if you're a millennial, old school millennial who grew up calling people fucking gay and retard, like, you're going to enjoy this one. So yeah, one our Pride Month and saying that things that straight guys could do that is considered really, really gay. So let's jump into it. I think the first one that came into my mind is cat dads. If you're a cat dad, you're so fucking gay. Why do you have cats? Like, out of every single animal out there that you could have chosen that could have possibly been cool, you chose a cat. Now, there is context to this. So if you are, like, if you're in a relationship, you date a girl, you guys move in, she has a cat. My thigh's looking crazy right now. Shouldn't have wore shorts anyway. So if you fucking move in with a girl, she has a cat, and now you're like fucking like a step cat dad, which is probably even gayer, I'll give you a pass. This is not your cat at the end of the day. It's kind of her cat, and you're just dealing with the little shit. If you rescue animals, and a lot of them just so happen to be cats, I'm going to give you a pass. You're doing a good deed. But if you are a straight single man, and you went out of your way to bypass dogs, fucking fish, any kind of cool looking reptile, birds, and you went straight to cat, bro, that is gay. I'm not gonna lie, that's super gay. Because what the fuck is a cat gonna do? Cats don't do anything. Cats just lounge around and do shit. Now, they are a good low maintenance animal, but it's like, dude, like, it's just a weird look, man, especially if you're a dude. It's just, and you can't have multiple cats. You can't have multiple cats. If you are a cat dad, first of all, get rid of it. Second of all, you can't double up on a feline, dude. You can only have one, and even just having one makes you super gay. If you have like 3 cats and you're a single dude, what are you doing? You're literally scaring the hoes away. If I was a woman and I walked into a man's apartment and I see 3 cats just lounging around, I'm walking right out, because clearly this man is not into women. So it's just super gay, man. Like, again, cat dads, you guys get no respect. No respect in the streets. And if you have a cat and you're a single man, bro, if you just release that shit into the wild, it will be fine. It's not like a dog, you know? It could fend for themselves, theoretically. But yeah, cat dads are just super gay. I'm not even going to lie. Another thing that is gay is if you go to a bar and you order a Mike's Hard Lemonade or like a twisted tea. Super gay, bro. Like, just drink beer. And again, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm talking to myself here because I don't like beer at all. I hate the taste of beer. I've tried every single fucking beer there is under the sun, every variation of beer, all of that shit, and I just don't like it. I just don't like the taste. It tastes disgusting to me. I'm not even gonna lie. So when I go to the bar, either get like a drink, or I might get a twisted tea, might get a sidey, but I never get beer. But if you go to the bar and you get a twisted tea, you get a Mike's Hard Lemonade, that's gay. That's super gay. Why? Because it's a fruity drink at the end of the day. Like, yo, like, don't get me wrong, it's a fun drink to drink. You know, it tastes good. Tastes like fucking lemonade. You're chilling on a hot summer's day. Give me a fucking Mike's Hard. Yo, you're gonna make me hard. But it's gay. Like, it doesn't, no way to cut it. It is gay, and it's something that's gay that I personally do, and I'm going to keep doing it. You know, I don't care. Like, even if it is gay by my own standards, I'm gonna keep doing it because it tastes good. That's actually sounded super gay. Pause. Let's pause that one. You know, out of context, I should clip that. It's gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna keep doing it. And listen, if there's shit on the list that I'm talking about that you're currently doing, or multiple stuff that you're currently doing, one, revisit your sexuality, but most importantly, yo, if it makes you happy, keep doing it. But just know you're a little gay, and it is what it is. We're all a little gay, and that's fine. It's Pride Month. You can be gay. You can suck a dick or two just in June, and you will be fine. But moving on, we have, so ordering a fucking Mike's Hard Lemonade at the bar, being a cat dad, also gay. What's next on the gay list? And this is straight up from the top of my head, which I had so many coming into this. And now, since I'm actually recording, I'm blanking out. But that's just how the podcast game is. I'm not even going to lie to you. What's next on being gay? Playing tennis, I'm not going to lie, is a little gay. Like, why aren't you playing basketball, bro? Why aren't you playing football? Soccer, some could say it's a little gay, but I'm not going to say, I play soccer, so I'm not going to say soccer's gay. I'm already doing other gay shit. Let me have this, you know? But soccer's played throughout the world is the most played sport through the world, so you can't really call it gay unless you're calling everyone gay. But tennis, I'm not going to lie, it's just a little gay. It's kind of gay. Because one, you got to have money to play tennis. No poor motherfuckers playing tennis. That's why we have no Puerto Ricans playing tennis, bro. We didn't grow up with tennis racket money and going to the courts and fucking... We could barely afford the freaking tennis balls to go play stickball. Like, or baseball. Like, we didn't have money to play tennis, you know? So, like, in an urban environment, growing up in the city and shit, ain't nobody playing tennis but the whites. But not only that, it is a little gay because it's like, yo, play ball. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's a basketball court. Usually there's basketball courts right near tennis courts. Like, yo, go fucking play basketball. Go shoot some hoops. Go play baseball. Go play catch. Go fucking dribble a soccer ball. Like, why are you playing tennis? Like, why are you sitting there, you know, after every serve grunting, oh, fucking borderline almost doing a split trying to get to a ball and shit. Like, and tennis players are mad flexible. The guys, like, they can do splits and everything. Like, doing a split as a guy is gay. I'm not even gonna lie, and that's like not even a freaking that one is that one's a given. You know, like if you can do a split and you're a guy, you're gay. Like, that's it. You know, maybe if you do MMA, because in jiu-jitsu you need to be able to be flexible. You have a lot of dexterity in your legs. I'll give you a pass and like to fucking throw leg kicks and shit. So if you do combat sports and you can do a split as a man, I'm going to give you a pass so you can whip my ass. But besides that, that's really fucking gay, bro. I'm not even going to lie. Great segue from tennis into doing splits. And we're going to keep this one rolling here. So next up, I got to say flopping in soccer is gay. If you don't know what flopping in soccer is, so... For example, right? And we've all seen this, and this is a big reason why Americans kind of don't like soccer for this reason. I totally understand it. So flopping is a big issue in soccer, and they do it a lot in basketball too, which is you're trying to draw the foul. You're trying to, you know, get the referee to be on your side, to draw a foul, to give someone a card or whatever the case may be. And you're basically just like exaggeratingly throwing yourself to the ground or faking an injury. That's flopping. That's super gay. Flopping is so gay, bro. Like, why are you pretending to be injured? Get the fuck up. Be a man. Like, why are you being a pussy, bro? Like, why are you sitting there grabbing your ankle when your ankle is completely fine? Like, the fuck, bro? Like, everyone knows what you're doing. It's so fucking gay. Like, it's so gay, man. When I see someone flop, bro, it's so gay. Like, my brother, love him to death. We play soccer all the time. He's a flopper. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've seen him, like, you know, someone, the opposing team is about to score and he'll flop just to like stop the play. Like, he does that, man. Like, he truly does that, and it's super gay. And I mean, he's gay in a lot of ways too. He actually has a cat, so like, you know, I might be talking to him throughout this entire podcast, but it's super gay, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you shouldn't be flopping. You know, like, get up, fucking move on with the play, and get going. Because if you're flopping, no one's gonna believe anything you do anymore. No one's going to know what's a real injury and what's not a real injury because everyone's fucking flopping and trying to draw a foul. It's so gay and it's so ingrained into the sport that I just wish it would go away. Now, women's soccer players don't flop. Women's soccer players, women's soccer, they do not flop because I guess the mentality is you got to be tough, but they can fucking get bodied, get right back up, no problem. Like, they don't do that bullshit, which I 100% respect. So maybe soccer is gay. You know, now that I'm looking at it, maybe it is gay. So I'm like 2 for 4 on the gay spectrum right now. I'm not even gonna lie. By the end of this episode, I might be, you know, over and under if I'm gonna be gay. But anyway, talking about soccer, man. Next up, I would have to say is gay. Yo, I gotta keep it real. Squatting at the gym, kind of gay. It's kind of gay, and I understand it's essential for leg day. I've been going to the gym for years. I also squat, so I'm like 3 for 4 right now, but squatting is kind of gay. Why are you, and I'm the type of guy that squats all the way to the floor because that's like where you're supposed to do. You know, you got to get down in there. You got to have ass to ground. And that shit is mad gay. I'm not going to lie. Like, it, just the motion in and of itself is gay. Doing it, and every guy can say this. Every fucking gym rat dude who you know, ask them this question, and I guarantee you they're going to agree with me. The first time they ever started squatting, ask them, did it feel gay? Go ahead. Ask them, when you first started squatting, did that motion feel gay? They're going to say yes, it did feel gay. Why? Because it is gay. Like, doing that motion with fucking a bar on your neck, grabbing it, hands up, and just popping it down like that, in and of itself, just feels gay. You get used to it after a while and it becomes normal, but, like, it is still gay, you know? And especially in a gym where, like, anyone could look and just look at you pop ass, essentially. So, again, like, it's kind of gay, man. It's essential, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to keep doing it, but it is a little gay. Next up is cardio. Cardio is gay. Cardio is so gay, bro. It's so fucking boring. Well, it depends on the version of cardio. Let me backtrack here. I'm like 4 for 4 now. Fuck, I'm not gonna last this episode. So, riding a bike, it's not gay. That's cool. Like, fucking Lance Armstrong did it. Whatever. He was doping. Whatever. But riding a bike is cool. You get a pass. Playing a sport, you get a pass. But if you're just a runner, like if you're literally just running, like if you're on a treadmill or if you're running outside, it's kind of gay. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of gay. Because, like, why aren't you lifting? Why are you running when you could be lifting? Now, I'm also going to get past the people who do both. So if you're an avid lifter, but you also are running, you kind of get a pass as it balances itself out. You're doing non-gay shit with gay shit, so like you know, you're barely passing the threshold there. But if you're just a runner, like if you're a grown man and all you do is run, and you're below the age of like 55, it's hella gay, bro. One, the runner physique, not sexy. The runner physique looks horrendous. It's just a skinny, flappy, just skin. Like, it's just not a sexy look, man. Like, runners, the runner build is not a sexy build whatsoever. But not only that, it's like, bro, why aren't you lifting? Like, fucking pick up a weight or two, you know? You can do both. You don't have to do one or the other, but running is kind of gay, man. Especially if you do it on a treadmill. If you solely just run on a gym on a treadmill, that's gay. Not gonna lie, when I first started working out, I was just running for like that first month. Fucking caught Achilles tendonitis, never went back. Why? I realized, yo, my heel is in pain. I can barely walk. This shit is gay. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to like actually start lifting weight and like get fucking jacked and big and thick because that's what the world wants. And I'm not going to look like a fucking scrawny twink runner, you know? Moving forward, if you're a twink, you're gay. Yeah, I just made myself laugh. But if you're a twink, bro, you're gay. I'm not going to lie. Like, why are you so skinny? Like, why you have no muscle mass on you? And again, bro, I was a twink almost my whole life. And I talked about that in the fitness episode. Like, yo, I was twinked out. I was a full, bro. I was a twinkie. I was a twinked out, man. I was like the living embodiment of what a twink looks like. You know, if you looked up a twink in a dictionary, if you put up twink in Google search, the image of me would have popped up there. Like, I was a twink for a very long time, man. Very long time. And it's gay. Like, it's kind of gay. I'm not going to lie. Because it's like, bro, like, you know, you have a great metabolism, which is good. You know, it's better than being fat. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, yo, like, you got no muscle on you, you got no fat on you, you're just bones, bro. Like, why are you a skeleton? Like, why are you a walking skeleton? Why do you look like freaking Grimm from God? What was that old cartoon back in the day? I forgot the name of it, but why do you look like the Grim Reaper, man? Like, why? It's just a weird look. It's just a nasty look, an unhealthy look, you know? People knock fat people from looking unhealthy, but yo, twigs kind of look unhealthy too. It's just like, yo, like, you can tell you do like nothing with your life essentially. Like, you don't work out, you don't really run, you don't overeat, you just do nothing, you know? Yeah, at least for the fat people, you know, at least they're going hard on the eating. I know for a fact, yo, this motherfucker loves food. This big fuck loves to chow down. So I can see he's committed to something. But when you're a twink, you don't really know what they're committed to. They're just being a twink. They're just twinking out. And I'm not going to lie, man, it's kind of gay. Coming from someone who was a twink, you know, up until a couple years ago, I can confirm being a twink is a little homosexual. I'm not going to lie, especially because nowadays, within the homosexual community, from what I hear, what discourse online, a lot of the gay community love twinks. For some reason, they love twinks. Like, they just love that build, man. You would think, like, because from a guy's perspective, men in general, we like curvy stuff. You know, we like to see curves. So that's when, like, men tend to date women who are curvier. Of course, like, men have preferences. Every man's different, etc. But, like, there's a thing where, like, you know, you take a girl who's super skinny versus a girl who's not as pretty but has curves. Usually the men's going to go for the woman that has curves. Like, it's a manly thing to do, you know, just how we are. So you would think that, you know, even though gay guys are gay, they're still guys. So you would think they would like, you know, a dude with a fat ass or something. But it's like, I don't know, like, twinks are just popular in that community. And I really don't understand why. I would love to have to talk to someone who actually is gay to kind of confirm why that is. I'm actually really curious there. Not curious about being gay, but curious on why twinks are a thing. But yeah, being a twink is gay. I'm not going to lie, man. Again, been there, done that. I lived that twink life. The twink life was a gay life. I can definitely confirm 100%. Another thing that is gay is bombing Iran. Bombing Iran is super gay. I'm not going to lie. It's mad gay. Like, why are we bombing Iran? Why are we going to another war in the Middle East? The last 3 wars we had were all in the Middle East. Can we just get out of there? Like, we don't love hummus that much in America, bro. Like, you know, why are we even there anymore? We've been there for the last 30 years. We've been there longer than I've been alive. Like, literally, bro. I was around during the Iraq War, of course, but before the Iraq War, it was the Gulf War. So, like, that was even before my time, I think. So it was like, yo, why are we there? Enough is enough. Let's just fucking leave. Why are we staying there for 40 years? Being somewhere for 40 years that you don't want to be is hella gay. Like, why are we doing this to ourselves? You know? We don't need to bomb them. what the fuck was the point of all this? Like, there was no reason for all this. We don't need to go into another war, man. War is gay too. I'm not gonna lie. War is super gay. Like, any type of war is gay. Cause like, yo, can't use your words. We can't talk shit out. Like, we understand, yo, if we throw down right now, a bunch of people are going to die. Our countries are going to get fucked. Everything is going to be shit for like at least 10 to 20 years afterwards. People are going to have fucking PTSD. And at the end of the day, we're just going to either one's going to get conquered or we're going to sign a peace treaty. More than likely a peace treaty. It's like, yo, the fuck was the point of that to begin with? Why do we have to gay out to begin with? Just fucking talk your words, come to some conclusion, and be done with. Why do we got to fight for that shit? Why are we throwing lives on the line for that shit? And not only that, war, especially nowadays, are gay. Because war back in the day, like, the kings had to go to war. Like, a king, if the king was like if the king of England and the king of France, who were two people or two countries that were beefing for like hundreds of years, literally, when they didn't like each other, like, yo, I'm about to fucking take your shit, and the other one's like, alright, come try me, motherfucker. The kings had to be on the front line, bro. They had to lead from the front. All the fucking bourgeoisie, all the aristocrats, all the rich motherfuckers, they had to lead from the front. Yeah, they were dripped out. Yo, some of the armor from back in the day, like, that shit was dripped. That shit is not gay. The armor from back in the day, bro, some of it was gold-plated, intricate designs. Like, that shit is fly, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That shit is not gay whatsoever. But kings had to lead from the front. They had to put their money where their mouth is. That doesn't happen nowadays. You don't see freaking Zelensky on the front line. Zelensky on the front lines throwing down with the Russians. You'll see Putin on the front lines throwing down with the Ukrainians. Sure as hell don't see Netanyahu on the front lines throwing down with the Iranians, or Iranians started bombing. That motherfucker literally took a plane and got the fuck out of there. So it's like, yo, these world leaders can send other people's children to war, but they don't want to actually go to war themselves. And that's gay. Super gay. That's the gayest thing of anything I just discussed on this podcast so far. But I'm not going to lie. Even though bombing Iran is super gay, I do think that if the draft is reinstated, which I don't think it is, everyone's scared about it, it's not going to happen. But if it is reinstated, right, which the ages would be 18 to 26, my old ass ain't going, shout out to me. But if it is reinstated, I think sending my little brother over there would be a good thing. Not going to lie. I think it would be good for him. I think him going over there, serving our country for the Israeli good, and making sure that God's people are safe and sound, even though they're starting the conflict, would be a good thing for him. I think he could learn like a lot of discipline, a lot of mannerism, behave properly, all that other shit. I think it would be good for him to possibly put his life on the line for not just the American people, for the Israeli people as well. The only issue is he has a fucking cranium on him. Like, he has a dome, man. Like, when the Israelis talking about the Iron Dome, he's talking about him. Like, he has a fucking cranium on him, man. So getting that buzz cut, getting the one all around, which is, patented by the American military, that's actually going to have him looking cruised, I'm not going to lie. Like, his head's too big for that cut. Besides that, I think it'll be good for him. So, like, Trump, if you're listening right now, you want to instate the draft, fucking send my little brother over. I think he'll be all right. But let me continue onward on what's gay and what's not gay. So let's dig into it. Outside of just having cats, if you're a plant dad, you're so fucking gay, bro. Like, if you have no pets, but you just have your apartment is full of plants, you have to be a botanist. Those who don't know what a botanist is like a scientist for plants, essentially. So if you're a botanist, that's your livelihood, that's your profession, whatever, you get a pass. If you're growing weed, I'll give you a pass too. But if you have fucking like money trees and succulents and orchids and all this other shit and you're a single man, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of gay. It's kind of gay because, like, why? For what, dude? Like, do you really care about air quality that much? You don't. You're fucking vaping nonstop. Your lungs suck. Like, you don't care about air quality. You don't give a shit. It's just weird, you know? It's super fucking weird. And some women like it because it shows like a man, can be responsible for a life. Yo, being responsible for a baby's life in your life is different than being responsible for a fucking plant that it got to water once a week. Like, let's really be real here. But I'm not gonna lie, especially if they call themselves plant dad, if you call yourself plant dad, bro, just fucking buy a pride flag now, seriously, because that's so fucking gay. What else is gay, man? What else is gay? I'm blanking out on what else is gay. I know for a fact once I stop the podcast, I'm going to have like 9 other things that I'm like, yo, I could have talked about this. I could have mentioned this. This is a gay. This is 100% gay. Like, oh. But I'm blanking out right now. So I might just have to bring this episode to a close. But yeah, on behalf of Pride Month, this episode's called That's Gay. And listen, if you agree, let me know. If you disagree, also let me know. If you have other things in mind or you're like, yo, actually, you missed this. This is really important, but this is also gay. Bro, let me know. I want to know. We can definitely discuss this later on. And if you guys love this episode, again, let me know. And we can definitely make this a segment. But yeah, that's a Pitre podcast. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Bye.